All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High has made, which starts our Sabbath. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming to say that it's time to talk. You know, we have that at least once, maybe once every 2 weeks, sometimes once every week. It's time to talk. So if you have any questions, or maybe you got the answers to questions, or you have something that the Spirit of the Most High has laid on your spirit to discuss or to talk about, maybe we can cover some of those things this evening. I want to say that I'm getting ready to cut this phone off. I know I'm running behind here. Forgive me. But we're going to get started here. Uh, I have pretty much a few verses here that I have of my own, not of my own, that I have read this evening, and I want to cover a couple of those verses and chapters. But anyone, if you have anything to say, you got something to speak on, you have something that the Spirit has put on your heart, um, and let's talk about it. Let's ask questions. Let's find out things that we didn't know. Let's, in it all, give the Most High a higher, all praises and all honor, all glory be unto Him. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. So whenever you get started, shalom, shalom. Uh, you can go ahead and you can start off, anyone, with a question, like I say, or something that you all, good to see you. Yes. Praise the Most High, a higher, a higher. Shalom, shalom. In the live chat, this is your night. It's your time to talk. Sister Deborah have the ear to hear. If you have some questions or you have issues that you want to talk about that's going on in the world, or you want to ask questions, or you even can have the answer. You could have the answer. Or you can have something that maybe a higher has given you in a dream or a vision that you would like to, talk about, and even ask some of us that's in the live chat, So it's your time. Time to talk. Time to talk. So I was just I picked up the Bible, and I know Corinthians chapter 3. I was really, really dedicated to that chapter this morning. But I end up over here in 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Okay. Let a man so account of us as of ministers of Hamashiach and stewards of the mystery of Ahia. Stewards of the mystery of Ahia. See, a lot of people think it's no mystery in things that has been hidden. Even though it has been in plain sight, it's still a mystery, because the Father was sharing with me that this has been here thousands of years, Deborah. So even though you're speaking it with the keys to speak it, it doesn't mean anything. If it's been here 1,000 years and it haven't been hidden, but it's been in plain sight, you see, that's why it's nothing new under the sun. So again, if you have anything you want to discuss or talk about, the live chat is yours. Very good. Very good. You know what it'll do to you? It'll take you a mighty long ways in this life. It would take you a mighty long ways. Because if he only abides in your spirit, he said he don't have no connection with dealing with your flesh. Now he can heal the flesh. Oh, yes, he can. But where he abides is in your spirit. And that's the relationship he wants us to come to terms with. That I care for you so much in your spirit. I want you to know that you have a spirit. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You come to understand that. That's because he has moved you from steps. See, I don't know what step you were on. For him to give you that to say out of your mouth like that is because he's moving you past steps that you once were in. Because the only way he can bring you to everything he has given you, it got to come spirit. All those spiritual gifts that you have that's rest in you that ain't been activated. Once you come to the knowledge that this thing is spirit, and wait a minute, I got a spirit where he comes to abide, and all those gifts that's in me are spirit, you on the road. You ready to go. You running. That's what I'm talking about. Where at? In DC, they man, wait a minute. I just heard they poured it out of the schools, saying that the children don't have to have it. So now is they mandated the jab? I didn't hear of that. Wow, Shalom. Why did the disciples, if listen to this question, you guys, if we are already written in the Lamb book of life, then why did the disciples say, teach us to pray? Don't forget, you have to separate heavens. Hallelujah, Father. Yeah. Hallelujah. You got to separate heavens from the earth. What you got to do on this earth, you got to be able to separate it for what heavens has orchestrated, because you're on an earth that's full of sin. What the first thing he said when Satan come down like a lightning? To deceive the whole world. The whole world. Now, when the disciples asked, when the disciples said, teach us to pray, you got to understand, Yeshua was coming down with all power and the word. Don't forget, Yeshua's whole mission locked in once he died. Why is it that Yeshua said to the Father, all that thou hast given me, I have not lost one? He's speaking heavenly messages. He's speaking heaven. What he has not lost is what was given to him from heaven. Okay? But every disciple was lost without a cause. Let me give you some examples. What is this that you're giving them and you're saying to them? They didn't know the difference between the word and the parables. They didn't know. Everything the disciples did, if you read the book, you'll see they never believed. They never believed. What made them believe? When Yeshua hung up on that cross and completed that which brought them and redeemed them back to the bosom of Yah. You see? So we have to learn. It's a learning process of not getting heavens confused with the earth. Because listen to this. Before everything was created, as far as what we know of, when that Satan came down like a lightning, instant, he lets you know. To do what? Deceive what? The whole world. So when we on this earth, we are not perfect. We are not sinless. We are not excellent. See, why? Because you own this earth. Let's go there. Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6. Let's show you where it's at. We have to learn how to separate spirit from flesh. Okay. The worldly from heavenly. We got to be able to separate that within us. Now listen to this. In Genesis chapter 6, what does he say? Verse 3. Go there. Verse 3 of Genesis chapter 6. And Ahiah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for they are also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. He's talking about the flesh. He's putting a cap on the years he's going to suffer the flesh to live. Remember, in the beginning, they was living 900, 800, 600. Most of them was reaching 800 years. But he's showing you here, I put a cap on it. Okay? Why is he saying, my spirit shall not always strive with man? I'm not going to turmoil with them. I'm not going to be here disciplining them, trying to get them to do right. Bump it up to the next one. Let me see, where was that? Bump it up to verse 2. That the sons of Yah, those are the ones coming from the heavens. That's the one he's saying he's not going to strive with them always. His spirit is not going to be there turmoiling with them. Because he said, not only are they spirit that I sent down, they are flesh. He's letting you know, just because the disciples asked that question, you have to understand, they was asking him to teach them something in their flesh. They weren't saying, teach us how to pray in the spirit. They was asking them, teach them how to pray in the way that he knew how to pray, in the way that he could teach them. But did they ever learn? No. When Jesus had risen, and when I'm here, I go with Jesus, but this is how I might have to bring it. When Jesus had risen, they didn't even believe it was still him. Doubting Thomas. The women went to tell them he has risen. They didn't even believe it. So when he came back, and then when he did the final ascended to the heavens, why was there angels having to come back down and say to them, why are you all gazing as if, you know what it was? Go back to that verse where it tells you how when Yeshua was going up, it's ascending in the heavens. When Yeshua was doing that, what was the disciples doing? They was looking up in unbelief, in doubt. So the Father, Son, the angel to tell them, well, wait a minute. What are you all looking like that? Why are y'all looking at him like that? As if he's not going to return like he has left. He will be returned. Why? Because they had doubt. You know what brought everything to them? To know how to pray. You want me to tell you what? When the Ruach came, it taught them. It brought everything back to their remembrance. It brought them to the bosom of the Most High, the day of Pentecost, when they was in the upper room. This is what brought to them how to pray. You see? This is why when they came to Yeshua, well, why couldn't we one possess? They couldn't lay hands and rebuke the demons or the devils that was on this individual. And they asked him, why is it that we couldn't do it? See, they didn't have it. They just didn't have it. But it didn't have anything to do with what heavens has already orchestrated. Because if we ask that question, if that question be set before us, that's a powerful question to put in as something on the earth to weigh it against the heaven. Oh no, baby. Think of all those slaves that was hung on a tree. Why did Ahiah come down if those were his children? I can put so many questions, probably put you to sleep. If those were your children, okay, like a father and his children, wait a minute, you ain't hanging my children on no tree. What is it that y'all came down to stop and turn right? You can't name nothing. Nothing. So therefore, that question of why did he ask, teach us how to pray. They didn't still, after he said whatever he said to them, guess what? They still didn't know how to do it. Why? Because Ahiah from the heaven had a will set up that when Yeshua HaMashiach goes up, I'm coming down. And in that, what is the Ruach HaKodesh? Anybody know? It's a teacher, it's a comforter, and it's one to bring things back to your remembrance. What was that he was bringing back to them in the upper room? Everything Yeshua taught them. Everything Yeshua taught them, nothing they believed. If you read your word, you'll see. Now, I can't say if you read it. Only the Ruach HaKodesh can touch base with you in that area. They never believed. Never did. Now, one of the disciples that walked with Ahiah. So when he told the Father, all that I have not lost one, he meaning in the spirit realm, Father, I have not lost them. In the spirit realm, I have not lost them. I did exactly what you have given me to do. Say, for instance, if Yeshua had not risen, guess what? Everything would still be the same. People will be doing the same thing that they were doing before he came. But because the whole purpose of him coming was to redeem back those who came from the heavens as angels before the foundation of the world. Who are those people? The ones that's in the book of life. Ahiah said, Yeshua, when you get down there, those are the ones that's being redeemed back to me, because I sent them down on a sinful earth where I knew already that Satan had already deceived the whole world. Whenever Ahiah says, and you hear it say, Ahiah says that Satan has deceived the whole world. That does not exclude you. It includes you. So that question was an easy one for me. Very easy. There you go. I like that. We need to pray for it to be able. That is very good. You are so right. That's a really good one. Because I was thinking something like that today. Oh, yes. And you know why I said that's a good one? Because that's what we need to be doing right in this day and time. To stay strong. And that's what it's all about. You know, is staying strong. Staying strong and praying. And see, when you're praying, you're asking the one that can help strengthen you to stand strong. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say that's really good. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I don't know how long it's gonna. The two witness is going to come, and I believe if I live to hear that the two witnesses are here, I think I would decrease. I would go into my grave. I really do. So I think even if I heard that the two witnesses were here, I wouldn't be here longer. Yep, I don't think I will be here longer. Because I'm waiting, because what they're going to be doing, they're going to be cutting up. think they're gonna be in this country, but they're gonna be cutting up. They were doing all kind of signs and wonders. Yeah, and you're gonna hear about it too. Sure, you're gonna hear about it. And I want to tell you all, anybody, if Sister Deborah have spoken with the keys to the kingdom, and you all don't understand, it's been 4 years I've been on this devil platform listening to these men teach. And my whole desire was they take the keys, open the door, and step in. And I will be glued to the YouTube. Come on, brother, you getting there. Go open the door, get in, go on in. Next thing they do, they back out. Back straight out. Realize until the Father told me, Deborah, they can't open no door. They ain't got no key. Only way they gonna open the door if I gave them the key to open it with. And I had did it for about 2.5 years, waiting for them brothers to open the door. When I say waiting for it, because they come so close and they duck back in, I'm like, wait a minute, no, you ain't. You've been on here for 3 hours, and you mean to tell me you ain't gonna give them what's inside the door? You ain't gonna open the door with the keys? And it frustrated me so much to the Father had to tell me, Deborah, they can't go in. They don't have keys that I don't give them. And I knew that, but it's just that I be wanting. And that just shows me the way I really feel about our brothers, wanting them to be able to walk on in, into that, not just walk in, but have the keys to the kingdom. So you can go on in. But see, the thing about Peter, he had the keys to the kingdom. Having the keys to the kingdom is spirit and truth. The truth of the matter, what took place before the foundation of the world, is what designed everything you see. Which one was that? About the angel. Which one was that? About the angels? Are you talking the one in the heavens? Because I got something to say to you if that's the one you're talking about. Thank you. Can't imagine you without him. Thank you, baby. That is so beautiful. You saying all the good things. I would just love you saying stuff like that. That is beautiful. That is. Oh, yes. And you know what? Now, when you said what you said in the top one about the angels changed your life, that was a higher. That was a higher letting you know it's time that you recognize that he is your life. And he bring about that change in your life so you'll know. You know why? Like I keep trying to tell these people, we're in the midnight hour. He only gonna allow those that can see, those that can hear. So if he allow you to embrace the fact regarding the angels, because that is what they do, is to set you free. And that's what you're telling. You're saying that he set you free by making you feel good and positive about the message. It ain't got nothing to do with Deborah. Ain't nothing in that message that has to do with this psychic flesh. It tells, it's trying to get you to see who the Father is. And if a higher has allowed you to see it, you're special to him. You better get on that horse and ride, baby, because that's just it. For you to embrace it, that's what he's saying. If this lady, he's saying this here. This is what he's saying. If this lady is saying stuff about herself, giving herself glory, giving herself honor, giving herself praise. If this lady is bringing a separate gospel from what is totally in this book, or what a higher is not giving her, then that's another thing. But when somebody bring you another gospel, it ain't gonna give the Father the glory. It's not gonna give him the praise. You will never hear me not give him all the praise, because he's doing it. And it's beautiful that he allowed you to step in, because he's saying to you that you most likely are one of the ones who have been sealed, because he is going to automatically know and feel it. It's a thing that you're going to feel, and that's what he said. 99.9, they won't feel anything. But when you can say it changed my life, you're telling the Most High or higher, I saw what you're doing. I feel what you're doing. You're making a difference in my life, because it's not me. It's not mine. Oh, 2 months ago? Really? Yeah, I've been on here. It's going on. It's 4 years. So that is beautiful. And hold on to that, because you most likely you're one of the ones he has marked in your forehead, in the forehead. Because if we're in the midnight hour, what's next? People don't understand. He already talked about things. So he's telling me today things are going to be tried by the fire. Meaning things are going to get worse and the things are going to be tried. But you ain't going to have to worry about it, because he already gave you a feeling already. Even if it's a small feeling that it's different. It ain't, you mean it sets you free. And you don't have to do what Sister Deborah do, us thinking. You don't have to do what these teachers and preachers. You just know that he is the one that has your name in the Lamb Book of Life. And can't nobody tell you that he don't if you get a feeling that it has changed your life. That's the anointed. That's the Spirit of God. Most people, you might not believe it, 99.9 won't admit to that. They can't feel that. So you got to come to the conclusion, I'm blessed. Y'all has truly blessed me. Because if, like I say, I heard this one lady was talking about all of her sickness in her body, all of the medication she's on, all the disabilities she's on, how homeless she is, how she's been homeless for just all these things. But then she's been leading these women on this devil platform and men by great number. And I'm like saying, wait a minute, baby, we're in the midnight hour. If you sick, you better get some help. So the reason why you sick is because you've been feeding these people this sick mess. And here we are in the midnight hour. That is really good. Thank you so much for feeling a higher, because I'm going to tell you, don't let nobody tell you who you are in him. Because see, he want people to understand, if this lady's sitting here trying to collect something for herself, trying to do for herself, and it's about me, or it's about the world, then yeah, you need to think seconds about me. But if everything I have ever given on this devil platform is to steer the people to the light, to what is righteous, to the narrow gate, and if y'all don't know how long it has been to that I wanted to teach that. I couldn't have done that if not, because y'all don't need, I prayed before I even did it, because Ahia told me, let me tell you what he said. Okay, I gave you, you got the keys. You go on, open that door. You go on, open that door and walk in and explain to them what I taught you when you was a young girl all the way up to now. You go on and give it to them. But I want you to remember one thing. They cannot see unless I give them the eyes to see. They cannot hear unless I've given them the ears to hear. What he's saying is, you keep in mind who rule is. When you finish opening the door, letting them in, letting them see, I don't have no problem with that. But always keep in mind, they can only see if I let them see. They can only hear if I let them hear. But I count it a blessing for him to allow me to speak on what took place before the foundation of the world. Because let me tell you, throughout your whole life, you will never, ever, ever, ever get someone to cover that in. Because it sets you free. It brings you to the liberty in which Ahia created. He said you're supposed to be floating freely. You see? Because I set you in liberty. How did you do that? Because before the foundation of the world, I had you a backup that was going to come, die, redeem you back to where you belong. No, that ain't gonna make you perfect and better than everybody and sinless. He said already, you go into this Bible, you'll find at least 6 verses where Ahiah is telling a people, I'm gonna hold you blameless. And not one of those people understand what he means. The reason why he's not gonna hold you blameless, he's gonna hold you blameless, is because it started in the heaven. He letting you know it ain't got nothing to do with you, baby. This is my power. This is my will. This is my order. And I'm going to hold you blameless for what you do. On top of that, I'm going to send a sacrifice to help you along. Because you're coming back. Yeshua told him about the 12. All that I have not lost one. And I'm like, wait a minute, Father, I'm going to show you how smart mouth I am when I stand before the Most High. I said, but wait a minute. He lost one, Father. He lost one. Because that betrayer, he was in there. He said he didn't lose nothing, Deborah. I said, but wasn't the betrayer in that? And I'm showing you how flesh is. But what about the betrayer, the one who turned him in? He wasn't right. Y'all said, Deborah, like I'm trying to explain to you all. He said, it's spirit. He's talking about in the spirit realm, what I have given him. He has not lost one. He's talking to the Father in spirit. In the spirit realm, I ain't lost nothing you gave me. And then the Father began to tell me, when he washed the feast, didn't he wash hands too, Deborah? I got to getting quiet. Okay, Deborah, furthermore, when he sent out the 12 to heal and to lay hands, was not the betrayer in there too, Deborah? See, making me look stupid. You see, because I'm thinking I'm so, oh, wait a minute, Father. He said he didn't lose one, but one was lost. Ain't nothing was lost. Heaven had already sealed everything. So ain't nothing on this earth lost. How can it be lost if heaven had called to order? We so stuck on trying to control the Father from the heaven will. Okay, tell you what. If everything's going according to his will, then what will of yours things are going in? What's the sense of him having a will? Do y'all know every denomination that believe in a God or whatever above, they know that they got a will? So if Ahiah has a will, why is we got to dictate his will? Why can't his will start from the heavens before anything was on the earth? That's what we can't get over. And you ain't going to get over. Because if you can't feel this thing, you better make sure you stay at somebody's altar. Because you sure not at Ahiah's altar. Because that's what it was about. When the sister said she felt it, that was it. And my spirit said, oh, Father, you didn't mark that sister, didn't you? That's all I could think. You didn't mark her. Because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a feeling you have. It's supposed to change the way you feel. Do it supposed to make you perfect? No. But it can make you perfect in believing in your spirit that he's all that he is. From the heaven, not from the earth. He's all that too, but he's in the heavens calling shots that was before the foundation of the world. And we sitting around trying to not get, you know what we do? We don't want to give him the glory. We like to, no. You remember how the book said we deny his power? That's what we doing. We trying to deny his power. Oh, he can't do that. He can't have no will. He can't predestine things. He can't ordain things. He can't foreknew things. You see, that's the mindset of people. Like he can't do this and don't even understand before anything was, he is. You see, and they just can't get that. And I'm glad that's what Ahiah wanted for you. He wanted that for you. So that's really good. You walked into that door. That's beautiful. And that's all I could say. You had to have been able to walk into the door to feel it. That's all I could say to that. You had to have walked in that door. Father had to allow you to walk in that door. He had you. No doubt about it. Yeah. But once you have been your worst enemy, guess what? Once you recognize you're your worst enemy, you can tame that flesh. I'm telling you, you can tame that flesh. You might not contain it to the 100, but you can tame that flesh because you can feel the things that it does that's not right. And it's almost like he said, even to Adam and Eve, man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, we got something in us that knows good and evil. Everyone. But that ain't gonna stop us from getting back to the kingdom. We are still gonna go back to his bosom, and our name still is in the book of life. What man can take it out? Who on this earth can change his book? Can go up, bring it down, and erase anybody out of it? There's a lie from the pit of hell. It's finished, he says. It's finished before it started. That's why he say he's the beginning and the end and anything in between. He is. So when he said, I am all that and some, what you gonna do about it? See, that's another thing. He's saying that in a way to let you know that I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that, I am this. And what you gonna do about it? Nothing. Even Satan, y'all need to listen to the conversation that him and Satan had about Job. When you listen to how Satan communed with him, oh man, you'll wonder what happened to us in the flesh. Why do he knows about this power? Why is it he knows everything about how Ahia has orchestrated everything? But then you get down here to the earth, people down here don't know nothing, nor do they want it. And the main thing they try to do is deny his power. And I think that's wrong. And I think, you know what I did? When I found out I was my own worstest enemy, you would never find not one verse in here said, the heathens your enemy, the Gentiles your enemy, the main thing it tells you the base word is you your own worst enemy, because flesh. And then it tells you why. It says your flesh always fighting against your spirit. Now, why don't they teach that? So people who are into this porno and drinking and alcohol and addiction, you your worst enemy. Oh, they tell them to go to AA. They're telling them to go here to get some. When they're on a lot of drugs, they got other medicines that's supposed to help them get off. When you're smoking, they got things, patches to put on you. But you have to look at yourself in the mirror. I'm my own worst enemy. Everything that I'm doing to my flesh. Why? Because it don't want you to know you got a spirit that can whoop its tail. Now, how you like that? The flesh knows that you got a spirit. That's why they put the soul in there, so it can confuse you, so you won't know which one of you are. You use a flesh and use a spirit. Where does soul come in? Ahia don't have no soul. And he gave us his image out of his likeness. His image is a spirit. We are spirits. Angels are spirits. And we are flesh. When they put that soul in there, that was to confound the people. And he did a wonderful job. The father had to tell me, he was, wait a minute, just like he told me with the lady who come telling me, let me see what they said. That's right. Tell your flesh, who's who and what's what. I serve a mighty Ahia. Stand your ugly tail down, Deborah. You don't rule nothing. Sit back and listen to his quiet voice. You know what to hear from. I have to say that to myself, y'all. Because I know my flesh knows it ain't going nowhere but in their grave. So it don't care about my spirit. It don't care that my spirit is where Ahia abides. It don't care that my spirit is who have the gifts of the Most High Ahia embedded in me. It don't care about none of that. It don't care. And it make you focus on your outer man. And that's what they teach everybody, to focus on your outer man. Wait a minute, hold up. This outer man already got his destiny in the grave. Teach me how to focus on my inner man. That's going to have to stand before the Most High come judgment. Going to have to either go to eternal heaven or the lake of fire. Which one has to go there? Oh, they don't teach y'all that. They teach you to focus on this that goes to the grave. You see that? That's Satan. That's Satan. Because as long as people teach us to focus on what you can see and believe, then you don't know nothing about how beautiful your spirit is. You got a beautiful spirit. You know why? It's willing. It's willing to stop drinking, stop drugging. It's willing to stay away from lust. It's willing to don't murder and don't kill. Y'all didn't know that, did you? That's why y'all say, I abide in that. Why? Because I put my image in it. That's why. My image of a spirit is in every man, woman, boy, and girl. So I don't mind coming there. But you think I'm coming in your nasty flesh? No, I won't come in your flesh, but I'll come in that spirit. And I abide with you and you abide with me. And we'll become one. You see, that's how he deals. But when we start to let this flesh get to me, do you know you can heal yourself? When you can tell your flesh, hold up. Hold up. If my spirit been given the Ruach HaKodesh and it's greater in me than he is in the world, well, what's the deal with my sickness, my illness? See, it's a form of recognizing who you are in the spirit, in Yah. And not so much putting so much emphasis on how you look. You know what, y'all? Even as a young girl, I never let nobody dictate to me how I should walk, talk, act, look, dress. I look the way I want to look. I dress the way I want to dress. Because this spirit of this Most High, he didn't come to me on the day of Pentecost. So he been with me probably before I was born in my mother's womb. He probably was. And he revealed himself to me at a very young age. It had to be going on 3, going into 4. So why do I need to go and believe and worship people that only can see their flesh way in and their flesh way out? Oh, y'all, that's where the healing is at. It's through the spirit. That's where it's at. All of our worst enemy, that's it. Yes, he is an image. His image is in us. And just imagine, when these heathens and Gentiles get to talking and running their mouth, all of that. Now, this is what I'm saying to y'all. That's why I said don't overlook what took place before the foundation of the world. Because honestly, any Europeans, any China, Russia, any human, guess what? They was called out before heaven and earth was created in Ahia. You know how he told me he called them out? Go to your book. He say, through Hamashiach Yeshua. I said, hold up. You gonna tell me through the power did you do this? Yes, I did. Through the power did he do this? Yes, I did. So when they sitting here trying to tell you what the Gentiles is this and the Gentiles is this and the Gentiles is this, they can say whatever they want. Heaven's already got them locked into. Who are they? The same one he printed in the Lamb Book of Life. So that's why I say it's to set us free from all this nonsense. Now, the heathens that are the Gentiles, or the heathens are the Gentiles, let me tell y'all, a lot of them is in that perpetual hate. They are wicked and evil. But somewhere, not in them, y'all got some in him. Read your book and let the Ruach show it to you where it's at. I can teach this thing tomorrow and show it all to you. It states that they were in him. They were angels as well. So when you think for 1 minute when we stand before a higher, we're gonna be what you call it, melanated. You think it's gonna be white, black? No, we're gonna go back to what? His image. He said we're gonna look like him. The old self gonna fall away. This here gonna go to the grave. We gonna be changed in the image in which we are today. With this flesh on, this gonna drop out. This gonna drop off. You see? And we gonna see him for who he is, and we gonna look just like him. So wait a minute, hold up, bros. Hey, bros, y'all sitting here talking about we're gonna have dreads and you're sure gonna look like dreads and like a Hebrew Israelite. See how lost they are? Lost without a cause. But I'm gonna tell you something though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was concerned about how is these heathens gonna get into heaven? How is they gonna be grafted in with their own belief? And I was dealing with it. I said, wait a minute, Father, they got their own belief that they in there. They saved. How they gonna be saved, Father? And I was confused. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I'm sitting here reading this, and I said, wait a minute, Father, something wrong with this. I say, I know faith is a gift. I know endurance is a gift. I know long suffering is a gift. I know spirit and truth is who you are. Wait a minute, but how are these Gentiles and heathens getting in? How are they being grafted in? How are they gonna get in? You see? He said, Deborah, they're already in. I said, how are they getting in? Through their belief? He said, no, mine. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, well, your belief, I never got it, y'all. It took me a whole week. And then when you read it, he tells you belief is a gift from him. Hallelujah. And they was founded, the ones that came down like we did as angels. Same way. And they have the gift of belief in them that allow them to come back to what's in the Lamb Book of Life. They're in there too. He had to break that to me. I said, now that makes so much sense. Because these people can't go around the way they act and the way they conduct themselves, the way that they are, hatred and all. They can't be yours. He said, they ain't. I know who mine is, and that ain't them. You see? It's such a beautiful thing to know the way he has orchestrated it from heavens, because it keeps you from hating people, y'all. Seeing people for colors. They can see us for colors, but those who see us for colors, guess what? They already down to the lake of fire. You see? You see? Anybody that's going back to the bosom of the Most High, that's name is already written in the Lamb Book of Life, guess what? Ain't nothing on earth gonna keep them people from coming back and returning. That's why Yeshua was saying, all that thou hast given me from heaven, I have not lost one. Not one. Because we don't understand. Because we won't. Okay, I was saying today, I said, Father, what is it that you are a father in the heavens that created all things, that you are the beginning and end, you are all power. How is it that you have a man to be a father and not reliable at all for his children? How could that example even hit the earth as you being a father to us as children, and a man being a father to his as his children? It don't match, because the men are not. We ain't gonna say all of them, but the example of the Father in heaven versus the father figure of man with his children. With his children. And y'all said, because what you see him be as a father is nothing like who I am as a father in the heaven. I said, that's more like it to me. I understood exactly what he was saying, because I was like saying, wouldn't you think, this is why I was saying to the Father, here these men call themselves fathers and dads, but they do nothing for their children. They have no relationship. They have no way taking care of them and doing anything or spending time. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know I ain't talking about all. Y'all know that he has some out there that does what they do and do it in righteous. But the majority, see, I can always see. Let me tell y'all something. I can always come to y'all with this majority thing because all I have to say, well, what about this broad gate that leads to destruction? I heard that it's pretty wide. Then there you go. Then he just come out and just tell me that it's in great numbers. So the fathers, they rest in great numbers, not being fathers or dads to their children, and they don't even understand that was in them, that was inside of them, that they put out, that they left. It was beautiful. Wow. Actually, was she frightened by it? Nope, it's not. And it knows it too. It knows that it's got its time in the grave. And it'll never rise again. It knows that. Just imagine if your flesh knows that its destiny is going one place and never come up again. Never ever come up again. That's why it don't care about your spirit that will come up again. So why would your flesh be focusing on your spirit and being on the side of your spirit when it knows when it go down, it ain't rising again. But your spirit, when it goes to sleep, it gonna rise again. So you think it's gonna be on this side? No, it's just like Abel and Cain and Abel. Abel didn't do nothing to Cain, but it didn't stop him from taking his brother's life. See, it ain't got nothing to do. The flesh, he tells you, the flesh fight against the spirit. He tells us that so many times in the biblical, but guess what? We don't take heed to it because we waiting for some man and woman to tell us that that's a lie. Your flesh don't fight against your spirit, and y'all is telling y'all this is a battle of the spirit, y'all. This ain't about flesh and blood, but flesh and blood likes to get in there and interfere with what it's really about, spirit and truth. And that's what flesh try to get in the way of, and it ain't got nothing coming. You know what? If you could actually commune with him, go into the closet, and he'll let you know something that'll change your whole life. Go into the closet, and you see, won't he assure you where you is at? You go into the closet, even if he have to send somebody to you in a vision or in a dream. You go into that closet, and that closet is a place where it's just you and him. But when you go in there, don't open your mouth. Don't open your mouth. Don't open your mouth. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Don't give the flesh the benefit of the doubt. You got something to say. You ain't got nothing to say, flesh. Stand down. I'm waiting to hear from the Father in the heaven. My Father. You see? When you go into that closet like that, just humble, keep quiet, then he'll begin to speak to you. And he'll let you know what you probably would love to know. See, that's what people don't understand. That's just who he is. And I like how he is. He sure will. You say it's in the scriptures. That's what he was saying to me. All these years he's been teaching me. And let me tell y'all something. I don't know if any of you all experience this in the midnight hour. When I say midnight hour, 3 and 4 in the morning, you wake up and you just praising him, just thanking him how awesome you are. You know, just communicate with, and you in a deep sleep. And out of nowhere, you just giving him glory. It's because everything that I have, I give him praise and honor and glory. Everything that I have understood, and I know I got it from him. People used to say, can I go to your church that you go to? I want to go where you go. No, you can't, baby. Only way you're going to get to me is through him. I mean, go where I'm going is through him. You want to go to a church? You go to the most high, higher. and you have a relationship with him in your spirit. That's how you go there. You don't want to go where I'm going. You want to go where he is. And that's, a lot of people, they just want to, and when I was a teenager, they used to say that to me. What church are you going? What's the name of your church? Sometimes they were doing that just to see what you believe. But see, Sister Deborah never did have a denomination in her spirit. She never did have a religion in her spirit. I had a higher since I was 3 going on 4. And that's all I need. That's why I say, I miss the idea of fellowshipping and joining a group where we all fellowship twice a week, or we do things together and just things like that. But what's going on in this world today, Ahaya got you exactly where he wants you to be. With him, in him, for him. She wasn't frightened. Mm-hmm. Her co-worker's mother. And she didn't even know it. Wow. Wow. I'm going to tell y'all something about the flesh. You see this book here, y'all? It's nobody. Now listen to this, y'all. Listen to this and tell me what you think. It's nobody that walked with Yah or for Yah because he had orchestrated them and called them. That Yah communed with them outside of the spirit and the dreams. Mm-hmm. He didn't have nothing. Everybody that he dealt with them through dreams and visions. Why do you think that? Why would he do that? Keep the path of righteousness. I know that's right. Obtain that flesh. I know that's right. Yep. And he would talk to you and make you feel like you are bring. I'm gonna tell you what he do. He get me in there, and it's like I'm a newborn baby. I'm a newborn baby. I don't even know how to talk. All this I know is I'm feeling something inside, and it's just awesome. Who can bear? Mm-hmm. See that? And you got that from Proverbs 18, verse 14. The spirit of man was sustained his infirmities, but a wounded spirit, who can bear? See, it's got to do with that spirit. It got to do with that. Yah abide only in that spirit. And that's who holds spirit and truth. Singing and talking, yes, and praying to Yah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Loving on a higher. I know that's right. So let me ask you all: have anybody ever went into the closet so deep in to where words were, your mouth was moving and words were being spoken to your spirit, you couldn't understand it? Yes, he sure did. In visions and dreams, and you would never get one person to teach and preach that thing, because they want you to think they have the power to teach you everything out of their flesh. And that was also a part of 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I was reading that. Let me get mine. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I was reading that, and it says, because of the flesh, they were not righteous. That's right, in the flesh. So E.G. Spoke to them in dreams and in vision. And if you go through if you were to say, I'm going to take this in 6 months and read the whole Bible, you'll find that and you'll say, well, wait a minute. Why did he have to talk to them that way? Why is it you have to talk to them like that through that stage? Why? Why did Abraham get counted to be righteous in a vision? Why did Abraham hear about his seed going to a place, a land that they knew not of, when how was he? Ahiah had put him out to the point of death, just to tell him that. And I'm like, wait a minute, Father, you're saying a lot of things to Abraham, but you got him down telling them. And that's when I learned. He said, I got to take him down. I got to put that flesh down before I can instill anything in me. Look at John. Look at everything in John was writing in the Revelation and on down. Look all that he was talking. And he was nowhere in himself. He was in a vision. He was in visions and dreams all that time. All that time. And if you really, really do your study, you'll find out, you say, you mean to tell me everybody that he used? You remember Jacob was wrestling with that angel? That was in the vision. That wasn't real wrestling. He wasn't wrestling no real. He was wrestling in the vision. Really himself. His own spirit. He was wrestling. And then he said, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Everybody would think that he was in the natural. No, he wasn't. He was in the spirit. See, and that's why people really can't get anything in this day and time in such a midnight hour, because Ahiah has left message after message throughout thousands of years, and they reject it even to today, when we definitely need it. We need to know what rests in the light, Father, y'all, so we may walk therein. Can you tell me, show me what is in the light so I can walk therein, Father, y'all? And I can see in this darkness. I can be able to see, because if you show me and give me the light that I can walk in the midst of all this darkness, I'll be okay, because I know the light is you. And you said we are the light that you wanted to come forth. John chapter 1. The Gospel of John chapter 1, verse 4, 5, and 6. He explained to us, in him was the light of man. He wanted to give us his image, which is considered a light, a spirit. So how did we get to 2022 and not recognize the place that he comes to abide in? But we said we got his Ruach HaKodesh. Do y'all know 99.1 trillion don't know that you can't have his Ruach HaKodesh when you don't even know you got a spirit? But because they're so busy and stuck on this soul, they need to do the study and find out who put that in there. Not so much as who put it. If they find out who put it in, they're going to definitely know, because they're going to see it. But everything is so plainly seen, just like he said. It's much that was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. He said that, and he meant that. He wasn't just saying that to make us think that was not true. Because look at 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. Let a man so count of us as a minister of Hamashiach, and stewards of the mystery of Yah. Look at how Paul and them are saying. Paul is saying that they are a mystery. They are ministers, because he said didn't he send out ministers, flaming fire, or fear, or something like ministers? Yes, he has. Those are his, strictly out of heaven from him. You see, so therefore we don't understand that we are overworking ourselves, y'all. We're fighting against our flesh, trying to identify who we are, and y'all already know who we are. And we sit here fighting our flesh. For what? Tell our flesh this morning, sit down. And everybody else is out here teaching all this yang, 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 and they giving you food that's going to energize your spirit in the will of the Father. This is what he told me when I went to Atlanta. He sent me to Atlanta. He said, they're going to come up on you and they're going to know who you are. But when they approach you, because I was having it really hard, you guys. I was having it really hard. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I wasn't there, I think, 2 weeks. Everywhere I go, bus, everywhere I go, I got on the bus and went here. And I always went by myself. Everywhere I go, people would say, ma'am, oh, I know who you are. You don't know who I am. I got that every day I went out. I at least had, say, 3 or 4 people who didn't even know me would say, I know who you are. Don't let them get to talking, because my next question is, who are you? So the Father, I was so angry with that situation when the Father started talking with me again. I asked him, why is it that they try to call me out? And he was explaining to me, this place called themselves the Bible Belt. I said, look like to me, they need a belt. They need to get whooped with that belt that they call a Bible belt. Somebody needs to take that belt and whoop their butts. That's what type of belt, Bible belt, they need to be detached to. And the Father was explaining to me, because I had never heard of the Bible belt, y'all. I hadn't. And he was explaining to me is because their spirit knows who I am. And you know what he told me? He said, from now on, when they ask you who you are, ask them, who are you? And it worked, y'all. But guess what? They couldn't tell me. So he said, ask them, what is their purpose? What is their calling? They couldn't tell you, y'all. They couldn't tell you. They couldn't tell me. They couldn't tell me. They couldn't tell me. So they so busy calling me out. Oh, you a prophetess. I already know that. Oh, yeah, you one of his. I already know that. You a prophetess. This is what I heard from men and women. And you know what? All of them carried their Bibles around. Everybody had the things you put your Bible in. Everywhere you go, everybody had a Bible. And none of them knew nothing about it. That's how I saw it. So when I used that, what he was saying is to say, when they ask me, I know who you are, ask them, who are they? What is your calling? What is your purpose? I mean, I asked those questions. Did you know they couldn't even answer? But how is it you know who I am and you don't know who you are? Because that's how the enemy works. He wants to call you out. Remember when Yeshua was in the presence of a man that was possessed, and you heard the demon say, I know who you are. And he told him to keep quiet. He told him twice to keep quiet, keep silent. Because they really knew who he really was. Guess who they knew he was? They knew Christ was up in there. They knew Christ was in the house. They knew Christ was in the house. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See, that's why I say even the devils, the demons knows that Christ was in the house. And Yeshua was telling them, shh, say no more. And they say, how are you come before the appointed time? Because they knew that power was in the house. So even with that, if the devil knows the presence of the Most High or higher, what's wrong with us? Is there something wrong with that picture? What's wrong with us? Hallelujah. Yes. Gave me confirmation. Yes. A higher will make himself known unto him in visions. There you go. There go that vision. And will speak to him in dreams. There you go. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You know why? Because we ain't got sense enough to receive nothing in our nasty flesh. That's why he got to knock us out, tell us things, show us things, because we won't receive it in the flesh, y'all. That's just how separate he separates himself from our flesh. So what do we have to do? Find out, well, what's the deal then? If you separate us from the flesh, what part of us do you deal with? Spirit. I abide in you and you in me. He's talking about your spirit. That's where he abides. He brings his spirit into your spirit. And he don't deal with that flesh. And that's why he did not. He dealt with everybody in visions and dreams. Everything he does, that's what he do. That's the way he does it. But I know when I am, the thing about the water is very powerful. It is a connection in the spirit realm with the water. Because I don't remember dealing with the water when I was young. You all, I did not deal with the water when I was young. I mean, this came on in the last, what would I say? Probably 10 years of my life. This water deal wasn't when I was young. I mean, I came to, look, I'm going to tell y'all one time. I know y'all probably think this lady is crazy. One time he took me to this place and it was pitch dark. And there was a fire, a big, like a cage, and it had a big fire. A big fire. And it was this creature. He had something in his hand. And the way it was saying to me, it was me he had in his hand. And he was poking me with a needle. Because I was saying to the Father, why is it that I keep feeling this in my hand and it's uncomfortable? But when I saw it had to be a vision. And I saw that, I still live to say to you all, it was so clear. He was letting me know all these years when I was young, the enemy had been after me all those years. And guess what? Ahia always had me in him. In him. It's a song they got out. In him is a secret place. Oh, it's so pretty. And I can't even think of the words, all of it. It's in him. He hide me in this secret place. I think that's it. And it matched me all the way, all those years when I was young. And it's other visions I was in where he was showing me what was what. When somebody wronged me, if I have to go to the Father, it's not good. So my mother said that you should always pray. 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 That's what she used to say, that nothing happens. Because if I had to go to him where I felt something was so out of control to the point where I felt things are happening in, how would I say it, around me. And he was allowing it. I used to do it. Honey, baby, I used to go down in that basement and I used to be so angry with y'all. Oh, man. I was a child. And I used to be mad, boy. I used to mad because I knew as a very young child that I had a relationship with him. And even talking to you now, thinking about me being that young, going down in the basement, talking to the Most High. When I come up, I feel good. But when I go down, I was a firecracker. Not all the time, but when I was, and a lot of times I can remember being angry for something that someone has done. I go down there and I start talking with him, crying. And don't get me wrong now, I was young. I was crying and telling him, why you letting them do this? And why you letting them do this? They doing this and they doing this. They doing this and they doing this. You letting them do this to me? And that's what I used to do as a young person. I used to do that. Oh, yeah, the power always get denied. He is the living water. Ain't that the truth? That is the truth, isn't it? That is it. Let me ask you something, though, you all. Let me ask you this question. Who can tell me about the baptism? Okay, let's do this here. Okay, if Ahia created and orchestrated everything in the heavens before there was a heaven and earth, okay, is it anything that we can portray on the earth that would change uh, the will of the Father in the heaven? I know that sounds pretty crazy, don't it? That's right. That's right. The physical, and you know what? That's even an individual calling. Let me show you how that is. Let me say this to you. Whatever you good at in the natural, guess what? It can be founded in the spirit. It can be founded in the spirit. Whatever you good at in the natural, you can find it in the spirit realm. And that's where you exercise it. Because now a lot of people don't understand. They be saying, I can do this, and I'm like this. I'm a good this. I'm a good speaker. I'm a good listener. I'm a good talker. I'm a good teacher. A lot of those things you already, how would I say, it's already in you, okay? And you do it for the natural reason, not knowing that it is also your spiritual purpose that He given you to run your race. You see, you remember Peter? Peter was a fisherman of fish. He would draw in all the that was his job. That's who he is. But y'all said, what? I'll make you a fisherman of men. Now you ain't gonna draw fish, you're gonna draw men. So that same thing he told me. He said that you are an excellent, I am an excellent cook. You know, like I said, I can cook for about 3,000 by myself. Okay. He said, you are a good and you're an excellent cook. But guess what? You one that I have also called to cook of that word. You see what I'm saying? But I couldn't do it without Him dealing with me since I was a little girl, putting it in me so I can bring it out. You see? So He said, what you do in the natural, you good with cooking food that goes into the flesh. What I'm going to give you, I'm not going to give you, your purpose is a prophetess, but you're going to be good with cooking the word in the spirit. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times people's gift is right there. The calling, the purpose for your gift, and everything that you need is right there. You have to flip it from the natural and the kernel into the spiritual realm. And once you do that, you begin to say, wait a minute, you mean it was here all the time? Yes. Because we are told so many things that causes us to question what is within us, causes us, like a lot of us have the gift to heal. We have the gift to open the blind eyes. First, we have to open the blind eyes spiritual and whoop that thing in there natural. You see what I'm saying? But you have to trust in the individual being blind in the spirit. And once you have delivered the blindness in the spirit, then you can lay hands on that which is in the natural, and they shall see. See, a lot of people think that you can just walk up to somebody, and if they in the chair, if they've been lame for 20 years, and you just lay hands and you are healed. No, baby, you got to believe in the healing in the spirit before you can receive it in the flesh. You got to first understand it is something that He said you shall have power. You're not denying the power. And that power, you have to know, is homoousia. And He can work in you, through you. You have to believe, and He's a spirit. You see? So you have to grip these things in the spirit and bring them forth in the natural. Something 99, 1 trillion don't know nothing about. People don't know nothing about that. But yet they deny its power. They put the power out of the church and they wonder why everybody in the church on all type of medication. But they quickly to tell them to go get your B shot. You see this man, what's his name? Jennings, Jet, whatever his name is. He got everybody in his church with masks on. I looked at that. I said, Father, he's running around here talking about baptizing somebody. Do you all know the baptism that he's trying to perform in the dirty water? It's not the baptism in the spirit. The baptism in the spirit was when, I'm going to show you what the baptism in the spirit is. Now, y'all going to laugh at Sister Deborah. I don't care. Watch this. Remember when Yeshua came before John the Baptist to be baptized? You remember that? And John the Baptist didn't feel that it was any reason why he should baptize Yeshua. Okay? But when he went down, and this was so that the word may be fulfilled. The order of the power in the heavens. Listen to how heavens orchestrated this. What happened? The moment he went into the water, hold up! What happened? Heavens opened the door. Let the dove come straight out. Where did that come from? Where did that come? Wait a minute. This is my son, my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased. Wait a minute. Hold up. That was the baptism? Yes. Yes. Heavens open up. Nobody else got that? Wait a minute. Hold up, y'all. Wait a minute. John said, no, I come to baptize with the water. But he that's coming to baptize you, he's coming with fire. Do y'all know 99.9 too ignorant to even grasp that? So you thinking you can go and take somebody and baptize me in your pool, your water that you run, that's polluted. The same go in, a wet devil come up, and go in, a dry devil come up a wet one. Wait a minute. Just because you get hit with the water on your flesh, what happens to the spirit? Somebody needs to say something. Somebody needs to teach this thing. Wait a minute, hold up. You mean Sister Deborah can go get baptized in the flesh and think I got something going on? That's how messed up these men are. They messed up from the floor. They got I'm going to show y'all before we get off here how he's talking about they got their own wisdom. And that's why I try to explain to you all. And for the last year, I've been telling you all, you got flesh here and you got spirit. No, this is spirit here and flesh here. You got wisdom in your flesh. You got wisdom in your spirit. You got knowledge in your flesh. You got knowledge in your spirit. You got understanding in your flesh. You got the Ruach HaKodesh in your spirit for understanding. You see? But the thing about over here, something that the spirit don't have. It don't even waste its time. It ain't caught up in your emotions, your feelings, your personal opinion. Why? Because it's the image of Ahia. And if Ahia dwells in it or not, it ain't about a bunch of nonsense. It ain't caught up in emotions. Well, here the flesh is. You see? So we tend to give all the credit to the one in the flesh and forsaking what's actually taking place in the spirit. So a lot of people will bypass when Yeshua went in. Wait a minute. John the Baptist said, wait a minute, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I'll baptize repentance. Okay? But he that coming, he's baptizing by the fire. What's wrong with us thinking the water is the baptism? What's wrong with us? What make these men like Jenny, Jano, Judah, whatever his name is, think that because he's going all over the world baptizing people, he's doing the work of God? I don't I'm saying? You ain't gave no light to them. You ain't showed them the direction to the narrow gate. You ain't gave them no spirit. I don't get it. But you want to take them and put them in water and bring them back up and think that that's it. No. You better go back and see how Yeshua was baptized. Because heaven's open, the door. You see? So if we're going to be, he come to make an example to us so that the baptism that we should receive, heaven's going to open the door. Because he's baptizing us by fire. That means we have to be baptized in the spirit. Can we go down in the water? Yeah, you go down there and take a bath. You can go take a bath and get up. Let the pastor and the bishop and everybody think they done something. And that's what it does. It got this man traveling all over the world baptizing people. Don't know their left from their right. So he's you know what? He got more. I'm trying to be funny though, y'all. He got more of Satan's ace going down in baptism. Say if he got 1 million going down, or no, let's say if he got 100,000 on this one, he might got 2. That's how mentally he's gone. If you think it's some water, it's going to deliver anybody from anything. Well, if that's the case, I tell y'all what, nobody don't need to do nothing but go run some bath water and baptize yourself. If that's the case. But when you go down and you come up, don't you blame my most high or higher. If you go down in that water one way, come up the same way, don't you dare tell nobody that y'all didn't fulfill what he said and he didn't do nothing. That's a game, y'all. You don't need to go to no pastor. You don't need to go nowhere. If all you got to do is go in some water and get up. Come on now. If it's that easy. But see, what y'all do is he stand back. He said, let him do it, Deborah. He said, and the reason why he say that where we at, he ain't coming, is because he's saying that, okay, I got an end game with Deuteronomy 28. And after that end game, I'm coming for man. So if you think for 1 minute, he's going to cut the end game off and come get you and get you right. Use a lie from the pit of hell. The end game has to be fulfilled. Okay, to the end. And then he's coming to get you. When you decrease, he increase. When you gone, he's coming. You see, that's it. It's just sad that too many and haven't taught that this is the reason why we see in a lot of things that we're seeing. A lot of them think it's all about what Babylon is doing. Baby. I sat up and I watched, and still today, our Negro people walking around with masks on. Why? What is it wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We gone. We gone. That's just it. We gone. Yeah, I don't know what you see him. He go after everybody, but I'm gonna have to step into him because it has been on my heart to do so. Because he went toward a prophet when she asked him, he needs to start speaking the truth. My idea of she said speaking the truth and telling his people who they are. When he said, I don't have to tell nobody nothing. I don't bring that type of talk among the people. Because if you ain't, what he said, born again and saved, ain't nothing more important than that. Wait a minute, bro. You still ain't speaking spirit and truth. You still ain't speaking righteous. What you mean that ain't important? See, when he said that, he didn't even give himself time to think. He just feel he's so busy trying to counteract and overthink and overspeak people to where he don't understand. He is lost without a cause. He's lost. Now, I mean, he got some good topics. But good. Now, this is what I say, y'all. Now, hear this here. He got some good topics. He preached some good sermons. But let me tell y'all something. In the book of Genesis, in the 3rd chapter, I heard the Most High say, man has become like one of us, now knowing good and evil. Good and evil is like good is on the right hand, evil is on the left. They come hand in hand. Good ain't gonna get good ain't good enough. So he can speak all the good messages. He can teach all the good sermons. Good. But y'all ain't good enough. I remember when I was working at Chrysler, minivan factory, and I was ministering to people. And this one white lady said, she said, "You're really hurting my feelings. I feel that I'm a good person. I do good. I treat people good." Baby, good is not good enough. Why? Watch this here. I'm gonna show you what I mean. And I know y'all, no one will teach you this, and you won't get it nowhere. But watch this here. Okay, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. Out of the ground made Ahia to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. Okay. The tree of life also is in the midst of the garden. That's one tree. Okay. And the tree of knowledge of good and evil is in another tree. So when you get to Genesis chapter 2 again, and you look here at, where is it at? Verse 17. We're still in chapter 2, verse 17. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. Why? Because just because it's good, we know evil. We know what that's saying. But just because it's good, we know what evil is. Why is evil connected to good and good is connected to evil? They hand in hand. But Ahia says, I don't care. They're hand in hand. Now you know that good and evil is connected. But what happens? Then he comes back in chapter 3 and he says, in chapter 3, Genesis chapter 3, and Ahia said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. The tree of life is it, child. Not good and evil. Not evil and good. Good is a part to evil. Okay? It's detached to evil. The spirit means good, but the flesh is evil. So the flesh normally takes its evil and convince the spirit, which knows to do good, but don't. It connects to the flesh and let the flesh do what is evil. That's what Paul said. When I try to do right, evil is always present. Always. Because it's always the flesh is fighting against the spirit. Always. Always will. So a lot of times we as individuals have to really, when we read it, we have to ask the Father, come and show me what I need to know and understand. To me, the hour we're in, everything that you are to understand and you need, it's already invested in you. Y'all just said, go for it. Go within, pull it out. It's there. Why? Because heaven had already orchestrated it. It's sitting up in there. Not believing in the flesh believe that it's already in you to believe. But your flesh won't let it go with its belief. It wants to be the one to dictate everything to you instead of letting your spirit override it. It ain't gonna let it. It's real hard. He's real. And you know what, y'all? I'm gonna tell y'all something y'all don't know. You hear some people talk about it. In a higher, there's no male and female. In a higher, it was them. In the beginning, where there was no sin, he called it out. It is them. That means in him, he created them. Because in him is no he nor no she. So when we stand in the New Jerusalem, it ain't gonna be he, her, she, it. No, we gonna be like him, a spirit. It's not gonna be no female spirit or a male spirit. We're gonna be a spirit. All that nonsense gonna be kicked to the curb. It ain't gonna be no more of that. So if we down here cutting up from the floor up, fighting against each other, thinking it's a battle of woman shut up, submit to men, and women following silly women, following the nonsense of the men, you go right ahead. That's what ends the world. The fallen angels, not the fallen angels, the sons of Yah, they saw what men were doing, selling their daughters for what? Sex material. Y'all don't get it. The men won't preach that to y'all, right? They never will. That's why I was saying to y'all, I don't care what. I love the ideally. He says, study to show thyself. If I don't come to reveal those things in you, you ain't gonna know it. Because if you're looking for man to explain it, you looking to be deceived. Because they're not going to. They ain't gonna never preach that thing right. What took place in Genesis 6. Oh, they ain't gonna never take it. They ain't gonna never teach you right. They ain't gonna never teach you right. That's right. You sure do. Keep them from being anyone who disagree with them. Yep. It's sad. It is really sad. But it is what it is. Let the truth set us free. Yes. What is it when the is it higher have set us free? We are free indeed. Is that what it says? I can't remember that. Nope, that's what he said. Remember that. Guess what the men asked him? They asked, well, if a wife had a brother, listen to how sick this is, y'all. Listen to how sick this mess was going on. And this is why I say women are so behind. Because listen to how sick this is. It was a woman who married a man. He passed away. She married his brother. He passed away. She married another brother. They turned around and say, I mean, they was asking Yeshua, when whose wife will she be in heaven? Yeshua told him it ain't gonna be no marriage in heaven. It ain't gonna be none of that. But what makes you think this woman should have went down all those brothers? You see how they keep that? And that's what made men back in the days molest their daughters and sons. I've heard the stories, y'all. I heard too many of it. I've heard too much of it, y'all. That's why the world is the way that it is, because it was messed up by the men long time ago. And they still trying to cover their crap up by telling you to shut up because they don't want you to bring out the mystery that the Most High is bringing out of the darkness. There it is. You got it. He who the Son set free is free indeed. Now, what do they mean by that? You know why? The Son come to set us free because Ahiah had slain the lamb before the foundation of the world so that his mission would come and redeem us back to where we are in his book, the Lamb Book of Life. Bring us back to the bosom of Yah. The Son set you free, you are free indeed. Does it say because you over in this captivity land, you ain't free? He's telling you, y'all, your spirit is free. Don't be worried about somebody who can destroy your body. He that can destroy the both end is what you need to be worried about. But nobody cares about that. They said we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But what they don't understand, you don't even have no bridge to cross over. And the only reason why they don't want us to, they don't want, I'm gonna tell y'all why they want us to keep quiet. Think y'all, all these years, let me say something to y'all. All these years we've been speaking. But when the Hebrew Israelite came on the scene, shut your mouth. You're supposed to be submissive. You're not supposed to speak. Jeannie Janies, he said that same moment. Sit y'all stupid tails down. If we don't speak, it won't be heard. Hallelujah. The reason why they came out with that in the last 20, 25 years, women are not supposed to speak. I know it's some of them that been over in Israel, been trapped in them, all them wives, and making them submit and all of that. You know why they doing that? That's what y'all said that was in the dark. A lot of stuff was in the dark. And in the last days, it's going to come to the light. And if it has to take the women to speak it, so shall it be. All these women that's under here following this cult and these religion of these Hebrew Israelites, you go right ahead, baby. When the times get hard, they're going to show you who they are to you. Matter of fact, they're doing it now. Y'all don't have male or female, y'all. But I tell you one thing he do have. He set his whole earth, this earth. He set the example of this earth based on a woman in travail. They don't teach that either, do they? They ain't gonna tell you that. Can't no man be in no travail. But he's in travail like a woman in travail. When anything got to go down, y'all put it under the parable of a woman in travail. See, they crazy. They crazy. But then the woman's supposed to shut up. Who can tell what it's like a woman being in travail? A woman. But if her mouth's supposed to be shut up and not speak, how can a man know what it's like for a woman to be in travail, meaning in labor? How can a man know that? But why did the Father from the heaven created the earth as an example? Everything that has to go down has to be like a woman in travail. Y'all never gave that a thought. Why? A man can't be in travail. And he ain't just saying it to a woman. He's telling the earth and the people there are, it's like a woman in labor. Wow. Wait a minute, Father, y'all. They don't know our pain. He said, that's what I'm talking about. They ain't gonna know it. They can run their mouth all they want. But the true fact, that female know the travail. They don't. That's going to tell you another thing right there. See, I'm telling y'all, it's so much stuff that's hidden. It ain't hidden because y'all saying it's coming to light. It's in the light. It's just, can you see it? A lot of people can't because there's so much darkness out here. They can't see it. But think about that. I want someone, the next time you get on here, tell me how many times is it in the biblical that a higher use a woman in travail. It'll blow you off the map, even in Revelation. What is that about? I know they said the earth is it. He calls it a her. But baby, when you talking about a woman in travail, you better watch out. This mother done had 6 kids. You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. That ain't no play. So what is he saying? So how can these men know what he's talking about? You can't. If a woman's quiet, the earth is dead. The earth is not going to be quiet and buckle up to these men. That's where the battle is at. They doing them. And the earth has now been off, what did he say, out of course? Off course. The whole earth, he said, is off course. What you mean, Father? It's out of order, Deborah. It's out of order. That's what I mean. See? And we see it running around here trying to make them kings and leaders and rulers. And Yah has not given them that title. Find power in this book that tells them in the land of your captivity, you're going to be kings and leaders and rulers. Sit y'all tails down and stop acting like clowns. Pull that clown mess off your face, off your neck, around your head, and in your fringes in the way you want to walk, talk, dress. Because you know what? Y'all saw straight through you before the foundation of the world. He know who you are and where you're going to return. So why sit? Why must we can pretend on the earth that we all that and something that already got us locked in who we are? Do that make any sense? That's why they don't want to teach what took place before the foundation of the world. What it make them do? Sit your tail down on the ground. That's what it make them do. They'll be sitting their tails on the ground and glory will be standing up. Oh, they don't want that. They don't want glory to stand up. We're going to stand up. We kings, leaders, and rulers. Shut your mouth. Submit to us. Baby, you don't know what submit means and is. The only thing we're supposed to submit to is that which has submitted to our Father. And if you ain't submitted to my Father, you better stand your ugly tails down. What would it look like for me to be submissive or submitted to anything on this earth that don't worship my Father? That have not turned their lives over to the Most Higher, because He owns it anyway. But then you want to walk on here and want to be a king, a leader, and a ruler. Sit your tails down. Stop clowning. That's a good one. True. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. In the spirit realm. Yes, I have. I had to. Want me to tell you what it feel like? Philip went into the hospital for surgery. They said, we got to take him down. When he went into the hospital, came out of surgery, they wanted to take him in again. Went in, 5 hours later came out, they wanted to take him in again. Went in all through the night, changing neurologists, just everything. They split his whole chest wide open under, going this way, going this way, and this. Philip was just 3 months. And let me tell y'all, I laid down, got up. I was at the hospital, went into the bathroom. I had a pretty nice, my length of hair was like right here on my shoulders, like right here. When I woke up, it was like this here. Shock. But I had sense. I had a peace of mind. But I was going through, my nerves were shocked to where it pulled all my hair off my head overnight. That was horrible, y'all. And I just think of it now and just seeing me by myself in that hospital, laying there waiting all them surgeries and all them surgeries. Oh, he didn't make it. But 5 days after the last surgery that night, he made 5 days after that. But I had to travail because Ahia was telling me, you know that I can, if that's what I want to do. But even if I don't, you know you're going to believe. So it didn't matter to me. Give, take his life, or leave him. I'm going to worship you. To where my flesh didn't have no hurt the next morning. But my spirit travailed through the night, through all 4. It was all, I think he had, was it 4 or 5 surgeries on that little bitty baby. Over and over and over and over. And I'm like, I was holding up, even though all my hair was gone. You see? And it didn't have nothing to do with this ugly flesh here that you see here. It was the greatest thing in me that allowed me to travail in my spirit while he comforted me therein. So what I'm saying in my spirit, I was troubled. I was sorry. I mean, it's not sorry, but in sorrow and great sorrow. I had to boy, I ain't never seen a baby with a funeral. That was a pretty big funeral. But I mean, it was just yes, I have because in it though, I never blamed a higher. I never doubted him that he didn't have it wrapped in his hand. And but he gave him back to me, y'all. He gave him back to me. What is it? Like 20 some odd years later, he gave me the same baby back. He gave it to me. He gave him back to me. You want me to tell you how he gave him back to me? He made sure that that which was on that baby that died was on the baby that lives. Hallelujah! He said, Deborah, just to remind you that I have not forgotten you. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! And that's the one that's very humbled, quiet. And that's the one that the father said to me, out of all your kids, you would never know him. I don't know what he mean about that. And I kind of get scary when I think of it. I would never know him, Father. I know he's Philip. Now I got Joseph. What is it? I don't know. For me, as a mother, that's a frightening statement. But guess what? Ahia knows all things. I know what belongs to him. And if you think for 1 minute I'm going to make it a flesh thing, a son and mother thing, use a lie from the pit of hell. It's going to be a highest. And whatever he knows and he does with him, let it be. But that dude, I think about that. I do. I think about that. What did he mean when he said you'll never know him? Anybody in the live chat know what he mean? Do anybody think that they know what Ahia mean when he says that? That son I would never know. I know that he's the one that passed away and you have brought him back to me. You know how he did Job? Job lost his, the same amount he lost at the end, he got him right back. But what do he mean? Somebody can think, anybody think they know what Ahia mean when he said you would never know him? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Hit another person of a back injury when in travail. Wow. So were you feeling that? Anybody in the live chat? Do y'all know? I don't either. So we in it together. I was trying. I'm like, well, I would never know him in the flesh. You think? Saw the spine corrected. I know that's right. Yeah. Wow. Let me ask y'all, are you all tired? I mean, like tired of being tired. I mean, tired of the same old. I mean, y'all like might not be like mine. Same old, same old. You know. You know what? I think I'm gonna run away and go into. I don't want to go into the. I want to go into the woods, but I think I'd rather go into a place with just land and just. I can't have no sleeping bags because I'm scared of snakes. But I mean, just look up at the sky, see the stars, and just deal with y'all out there. I mean, I'm for real, y'all. A heavy weight. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wow. You tired too? I feel so, and I don't know. When my kids sent me to New York, I had a good time because that was something that was a state I always said I wanted to visit. And I think it was on my birthday, they gave me a trip to New York. And I was like, it was a good feeling and everything, but that's not it. It's just like you just want to be away from everything because you just honestly, probably because I'm just a servant. You too, huh? Ready to go home. I know that's right lately. Yeah, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Mm, that travail is such uh, uh, a heavy weight. It really is. But what I like about it is the way he orchestrated everything. Because if anyone decides to, if you go into the Bible and you look up and say a woman in travail, and it'll give you all the verses that talks about a woman in travail, and then you'll wonder, wait a minute, this is the creator. What made him lock everything, majority everything that you go through in life on the earth is like a woman in travail. The earth bring forth, I know things, but he said the earth also mourns and waits. So that's pretty deep. A room with a skylight. Oh no, she didn't. And what? I'm gonna be you ain't right. She said get a room with a skylight. No, baby. I'm talking about being close to the earth, the grass, and the whew. You ought to quit. Would you say, I'm so tired and looking to go to the woods somewhere surrounded by the nature? Yep, it's about that nature. That's really what I'm talking about. Just I don't know. It's almost something like just something that feels like it's waiting there or something for you or something. I'm going to show you because I'm feeling it too. I know that's right. I am just tired. I didn't even catch that from you was having seizures. I didn't even get it. Could you do it again? The live chat moved it up real fast. Okay, got you. That's in Romans chapter 8. Okay. Now I read that too. So that's what it said. See, and you'd be surprised some of the feelings that we are having. It's covered. It's something that he already wrote in there because he already know what we're going to be feeling. He knows the time in that day. This is the way people are going to feel and go through. And let me put this in here so they'll know exactly what it is. No more tears, no more worrying. Oh, that's such a wonderful feeling. Oh, that's such a wonderful feeling. The beach and the ocean. Oh yeah, I've done all of that, and it's such a peace, y'all. It really is. I think it's a lot of things that's good for us to experience that we have not experienced. A lot of people have not experienced a lot of things, but a lot of it would bring a lot of closure to people. People don't know that, but it would. It can. By his nature. I do too. I like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't get, oh, I just tired from seizures. Okay, I want you to know that the seizures that you have is controlled by your mind. Your mind controls those seizures. Your thought pattern triggers them on. Even when you get a feeling, you automatically take it to where uh, it is, and you think it into existence. Once you can call that thing out and not call it back in and not claim it, because I'm gonna tell you, it's just like me with migraines. Once I, not even say I, let me get that I out the way. I'll be lying. With the migraine, the Father taught me your migraines come from when you don't accept the things you cannot change. That means you're putting a lot of thought into issues and things you cannot change. So you overloading your thought pattern, your brain. And when you do that, it get overloaded. You see? Because the things that you cannot change, let it go. So I used to say, when how am I overloaded? You know how you say, when I don't feel stress, I don't feel, but actually the doctor will tell you stressed. A lot of people say, I don't feel like I'm depressed, but when you go in, they tell you you're depressed, and I'm like, wait a minute, how can it be? Or I don't feel like my high blood pressure, my blood pressure's up, but there it is. Your body controls you. Your mind controls your body. Okay? If your flesh has dominion over your spirit. Now, y'all listen to this, and just tell me, don't this make sense? Say, for instance, your flesh have dominion over your spirit, and your spirit is under subjection to your flesh. How is it that your flesh can have dominion over your spirit being, but not dominion over your seizures, over your headaches? You see what I mean? Over your thought patterns, over your addiction. But it's all over in the Kool-Aid of your spirit, controlling it. But it can't control that which is happening to it. Think about that. That's because people don't believe that a lot of things that's actually happening to them is because they feel that this is something that's just happening and it's just there. No, your flesh is your worst enemy. And if you allow your flesh to control your whole body, no problem. It's going to do that. And it's going to do a wonderful job. Let me set an example. How is it that the flesh can tell the mind to kill yourself? You don't want to live no more. They don't love you. Or they talking about you on the media, on the website. They calling you. They talking about you. They say you ugly. Wait a minute. Hold up. How is it that all of that stuff can cause you, that's just your thought pattern, to take your life? How is it that it can cause you to go take someone else's life? And that will be what? Murder, suicide, wrong. But you can't use that same thought pattern that have the power to control your seizures. Come on now, somebody talk to me. And headaches. If something that's great is who he is in us, then he that is in the world. What's the sense of him being great in you when your flesh is having dominion over your spirit? And it's just all over the place. A lot of it. I know it. A lot of people think that, okay, when, the doctor said, when trust in the doctors. And watch these things continue. Because what a lot of people do not know, people with seizures do not know. The devil can cause a seizure to stop your heart from pumping, like it did mine. And they said my bowels loose, my urine, my whole body went chaos over one bad seizure. Ain't gonna happen again. Never again. And that was 28 years ago. 29, yeah, 28 years ago. I ain't having no seizures no more. And then the father told me that, okay, Deborah, listen, when it get to the point where you can feel that migraine coming on, bring this down. Tell it don't rule nothing. Bring it down. Stop trying to change the things you cannot change. Let it go. People going to be who they are. They're going to do what they're going to do. You can't change the world, Deborah. Tell that brain that. Because you're putting all that pressure on your thought pattern. It ain't nothing you can do to change it. So bring it down. Bring that thing down. And guess what? I had to tell my son, my oldest son, a couple of weeks ago. That's how I learned to do away with my migraines. And I might have one once a year, maybe once a year. I know what exactly is going on. Now I know how to do it. So when I was working as a chef at this here major hospital here, the nurses, they used to love my food. And I couldn't understand. I said, why y'all drinking all those Monster drinks and taking all those energy things? They said, well, we have to. When them nurses come tell me, every last one of them have migraine headaches. And they said it's so bad. Then I said to myself, Father, what make their migraine worse than mine? Impossible. The worstest migraine you have is when you go into seizures and you die. They migraine can't touch that. You see what I'm saying? So what has happened is a system have shut down the migraine medication once they found out, okay, people who have migraine, all they have to take is one Excedrin migraine. One Excedrin migraine. And guess what the system did, y'all? Took it off the market. Took it off the market, I think, for 2 or 3 years. I was like, wow. Why? Because that was helping the people that have this migraine. It bumps it straight out. I know, because I was at a clinic, and this African lady, she said, baby, you need, I don't know why people think I'm younger than what I am. Baby, you need to take a migraine, Excedrin migraine. And she was telling me, she read my records where I had one of the worstest migraine there is. And she was saying that when you go get you a bottle of Excedrin, keep it in your medicine cabinet. When you have that headache again, coming on, just take that. And when she told me that, that's the best thing that could happen. But guess what happened? I found so many people that was having migraine headaches. Too many people. The nurses in the hospital. You know what they're doing now? They cut all the migraines, Excedrin migraine. They took it off the market. Google it. They took it off the market. Came back with it. It was 2 or 3 years later. But all the doctors have prescribed to the nurses. They go down to the pharmacy at the hospital and get their medication for their migraine headaches. So now they get medication. They get I think they say that Excedrin migraine is a medicine. It's like caffeine in it, or something like that. That one pill. But what they get now is something that the system created for their migraine headaches. And I couldn't understand why y'all taking that type of medicine. If you have those type of headaches, just learn to just think about what you're worried about and bring it into captivity. They don't listen to that. Everybody wants medicine. It's just almost like everybody wants. They said it, they don't, but it's a form of how would I say it? It's in my little sister. It's in my little sister. And it's deep. Um, Attention. We're putting so much attention toward things that is destroying us. And when you do that, you giving it praise. And they stepping on in and say, come on, it's time to party. Mm. She went to the beach one February and it was nice. There was snow. Wait a minute. Rain and heat. What? What was that? Where was that? Huh? I felt it told my voice to leave the room and snapped in one and called mom afterwards. Yep, right on spot. Oh yes, okay. You know what he say that our worstest enemy is self. That our flesh fight against our spirit. This is why. It's because it don't want any good to come to you. Your own flesh. Ain't that sad, y'all? Ain't that sad? Isn't that something to think about? Is you mean to tell me, and y'all, it's all up in the book, telling you your flesh gonna always fight up against what is right. You see, it's going to all, but see, what happens, you got to let your spirit get the flesh under subjection. And that would kill everything that your flesh is thinking it ruling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Virginia Beach. Okay. But you said it was snow. Wait a minute. Rain? What was that? Was that in Virginia Beach where the snow, rain, and heat? Oh, yes, because it's a battle. It really is. But when you know who already won, flesh got to stand down. You're right. You are exactly right. We need to put more attention in the spirit of the word of the Almighty, not a man. That is so true. That I totally agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. 100. Yep, I definitely agree with that. Health and wellness. Something, daughter of Zanya. Health and wellness. Some information. Some information. Yes, yes, yes. We must stay in prayer for her to give her strength to trust a higher and showing her how to bring her seizures into captivity and sentence it to death so it will cease and never come back. That's right. That is so right. Yep, that fasting and prayer and also help. Mm-hmm. That's right. You want to have a head look, you want to have a headache, you want to have seizures, flash. I tell you what, no food for you. I give you prayer. How about that? How about that? See, I put you won't get food. Instead, we'll give we gonna give you some prayer. We're gonna pray about this thing. I bet you take off running in. Sure, it'll get right. See, it don't want that. See, and everything that uh, 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 he did it as an example that we too may get the victory the same way. That we may get the victory the same way. All right, all right. Sister Deborah is going to, yeah, sure will. But yeah, he told me to learn to accept things that I cannot change and know that these things need be, and don't put that much weight in my thought pattern and thinking on things to where it way overweighs my thought pattern and brings it into a headache, a migraine. And you can feel it when it coming on. You can feel it. But he was telling me even before it get to that high level that he told me that you can do something. It don't have to be that you get to a level where you have to lay down in the darkness. You can have the light, you can have the noise, you can get it before the end. But just accept the things you cannot change and know that these things need be. Because that means every time you come up on situations that's actually taking place, you're gonna be having a migraine. So tame that thing. Tell it to stand down. Give it to him. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. In prayer. So we pray for our sister. We pray for her. That Yah would do what he does best. Remove that which come to destroy. Because I'm gonna tell you, I had one. They said what happened is when they try to bring me out of the seizures through medication, they was trying to get me out of it. The moment they got me out, they thought they got me out. I went into another one, another one, another one, another one, another. It kept going to where my body, my heart, everything stopped. That was some crazy stuff too. Yeah, you can feel it coming on. Mhm. So I, Sister Deborah, saying to you, make sure we pray for our sister that is in need for prayer. Yes, for she's having no, I ain't gonna say it like I ain't gonna say it like we're gonna give it credit. She's having a seizure, and we need to just pray to the Father that He deliver it in its fullness. Yes, He is our deliverer and our healer. Yes, it is. It's vain. It's gone. And y'all want us to see it like that. Because when we see it like that, we see him for who he is. Did y'all know that? When we see this world as vain, we see him as all that and some. He said, you got to not like this world. So I, Sister Deborah, would say that I appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. Appreciate you tuning in. And I will say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on this evening. And we appreciate you. And I'll be back. We need to find another topic that we all need to cover. Anybody have any ideas? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love the stream, the light. No, the love the stream, Mr. Jefferson. All right. What's a good topic we could cover? Thank you. What's a good topic? All right, all right. We'll come up with something. But I, Sister Deborah says, I'll see you again. I'll see you. Now, how did that sound? We'll talk again. Let's talk again. Shalom and shalom. I appreciate you all. Have a pleasant evening, night.